Okay.
Hi, I'm Rich Pastorella from Hazleton Tai Chi, and I'd like to tell you right up front that Tai Chi has a complete internal martial arts curriculum, but we're going to use the term Tai Chi because Tai Chi is more familiar for everybody else. It's a common term used to describe internal martial arts in our current culture. But all martial arts accomplish all of our goals. They accomplish the goals of self-defense, personal development, and health. Our Kung Fu program, Sensei Fran Burns' Catholic Karate program, they all accomplish all of these goals. But the thing that makes Tai Chi and the internal martial arts different is that Tai Chi and the internal martial arts are a health-first program. We're focusing on health first, and it's a system of activity and exercise that allows you to take a person that is in very poor condition and systematically and step by step develop them into a person that has very robust health and vigor. Okay, and we do that by accomplishing certain goals or certain principles in movement. First of all, I'd like to start out with the premise that we know that 75% of all illness and disease, even the term disease kind of tells you, dis-ease, 75% of all illness and disease come from, is made worse by, I should say, by stress. Okay, and stress is something that causes the system to become hyperexcited or hyperactive. Okay, and why would the person's central nervous system become hyperactive or overstimulated? And Tai Chi answers that question in great detail. Let me start with the first principle of Tai Chi, which is to find correct and efficient alignment. And what is correct and efficient alignment? But correct and efficient alignment, you can see by this chart called the Bayesian chart, is when the person uses their skeletal system or their bones to oppose gravity, which is one of the most difficult things that we do. And you can see that the head is over the shoulder, and the shoulder is over the hip, and the hip is over the knee, over the ankle, and that's how the person lines up against gravity and creates postural alignment. Why is this important? Because when a person is out of postural alignment, for instance, if their head is forward, what we have is a situation where the muscles have to hold the person up against gravity, and they're in constant activity and action. And this causes the central nervous system to become overstimulated. So one of the first things that we try to accomplish in internal martial arts is to find correct and efficient alignment. We have a systematic, step-by-step way of training that. The second thing that we try to accomplish is to teach the person to relieve excessive tension. You see that in the first move in Tai Chi, where when the person does the arm rise, instead of them lifting their fingers, we teach them to keep the fingers where they are and allow their wrists to fall by turning off the shoulder or the deltoid muscle, and then turning off the side deltoid muscle, let it drop further, and then turning off the bicep, and then turning off the forearm muscles. So other forms of exercise teach you to contract muscles, and Tai Chi certainly does that, but the thing that makes it different is that it teaches you how to turn muscles off and relieve excessive tension and bring you back to normal tone. Okay, this calms the central nervous system down. The third thing that we teach you to do that other movement and martial systems don't is we teach you to coordinate the upper and lower body. If you ever watch somebody doing some kind of dynamic activity, like for instance throwing a baseball, you'll notice that they don't just use their arm and the ball would fall down in front of them, it wouldn't go anywhere. What they do is they use their whole body in a coordinated manner. You're going to notice that they shift their weight, they turn their waist, and then they drop their elbow, and then finally the wrist follows through, and it is a coordinated activity where you get maximum output of force with minimum tension. This is important for the martial aspects of Tai Chi and the performance aspects of Tai Chi, but it's also important for the health aspects of Tai Chi, because as the person learns to become more coordinated, they learn to move with minimum tension. And again, we're calming down the central nervous system. Tai Chi also has strength training elements, and it has a very complete strength training system, which we won't go into as much detail in this video, but Tai Chi starts by developing isometric strength first, the strength to be able to remain stable in certain positions. Why is that important? Because as you move from position to position, if you don't have stability, for instance, if I step forward in a lunge and if I don't have stability in my knee rocks back and forth, or if I'm going for a walk and my ankle and my knee rock back and forth as I do that, then over time I will deteriorate those joints and break them down, and again, I'm going to negatively impact my health. So Tai Chi has a systematic step-by-step way to teach you to be able to balance and stabilize yourself as you move from position to position. Tai Chi also teaches you correct and efficient breathing, and most people don't have a concept for that. They just breathe up into their chest, and while there's a place for chest breathing, for instance, if I was going to do a 300-pound bench press, I'm not going to be taking real long diaphragmatic breaths. I'm going to be taking a chest breath, or if I'm going out there and doing a wind sprint, I'm going to be using the fight or flight or the chest breath to do that. But there's also other types of breathing where you learn to use the whole lung, and you learn to breathe in such a way that it calms the central nervous system. So there's many aspects, too many aspects of health that's developed in a Tai Chi program to be able to describe on this video. But the basics are, we're reducing stress and calming the central nervous system, and this is what makes Tai Chi different than all the other martial arts. Okay, get in touch with us on Facebook or get in touch with us at our website, and we'd like to have you come down for a free introductory program. Thank you.